Hi, my name is Blake Davis, and today I will be talking to you about the game of golf. Golf became a sport in 1750. It was created, they wrote the first rules down in 1774. They played without rules for about 20 years because it was just a sport that people played on the weekends and had fun with, and it became competitive around then. It was played in the sand dunes of Scotland. They had a hole between each dune most of the time, and you had to hit it over the dune into the hole. Um, the first golf ball was invented until 1884. It actually wasn't a dimpled ball. It was just a solid ball, and the golfers realized that the more used the ball got, the better it worked. So they started adding dimples to the ball about 20 years after it was created, so it would go farther and the ball had more control. Before that, they played with rocks and pebbles. So if you didn't have a perfectly round rock, it wasn't going to do what you wanted it to do. Now I'll talk about the rules of golf. There's a handbook you can buy every year from the United States Golf Association that gives you all of the rules of golf that you need and everything that you will need. Um, there's a lot of unspoken rules of golf, such as you don't speak when someone's hitting, or you shake hands after the match, or you don't stand where someone's shadow is in the line of where someone is putting. Just unspoken rules and things like that that you know if you play golf. Now there are hazards, things called hazards, and they're most of the time marked with either a yellow or a red stake. A bunker is also a hazard, which is where the sand is on the golf course. You cannot ground your club in the hazard. You have to hit with your club off the ground and then take it back and hit the ball and make sure you hit the ball. If you ground your club, it's a stroke penalty, and if the ball moves, it's also a stroke penalty. Now there are white stakes that mark the out of bounds. The out of bounds, you have to take a stroke penalty and place your ball where it went into the out of bounds line. You get a club length, and then you'll have to drop. Just extend your arm out fully and drop the ball. Wherever the ball ends up is where you have to hit your ball from, and you have to take a stroke away from your final score. So if you got par, you'd end up with bogey because of that. Now I'm going to talk to you about the golfers from Georgia. There are a lot of very good golfers on the PGA Tour right now from Georgia. Russell Henley, if you ever heard his name, he's from Macon, where I'm from. I've played with him a couple times. He is very good. They are as good as they look on TV. Don't let it fool you. They do hit the ball just as far. So he's a very nice guy, and he's fun to play with. He's fun to be around. Another one out there, his name's Blake Adams. He was in the running for the U.S. Open about 2 or 3 years ago. He used to be engaged to my aunt, actually. They're from Eatonton. And before he was engaged to her, he wasn't really big on the PGA Tour, and then after he got big, he actually broke up with my aunt on Valentine's Day. So my family's pretty fond of Blake Adams. But the greatest Georgia golfer, in my opinion, is Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones did a lot for the game of golf and just for people from Georgia, period. He was a great writer, golfer. He was actually a lawyer by profession. He was never a professional golfer. He won 13 major championships as an amateur golfer. He was actually very instrumental in helping create the Masters and design Augusta National Golf Course. Now, it's crazy to think that his design such a long time ago can still be so hard for the players in today's world because the clubs and the balls have evolved so much, and it's just such a different game than it was back then. Look at Tiger Woods. He's huge. He's an athlete. He's an actual athlete that plays golf, and most golfers are that way. And it is taken as a sport nowadays more than it is just a fun time to go have with your friends. Now, how I got into the game of golf, I was very young. I was about 8 or 9 at the age. The first time I picked up a golf club, my dad started taking me to the golf course. It was very fun. I picked up a great knack for it. I started getting lessons, and then I started going to all the tours, the junior tours. And by the time I was 16, I was very burnt out. I didn't really want to play golf anymore. I just didn't want to do it, so I quit. I quit everything, and I mean, I kind of regret it today, but it was my decision, so I have to live with it. Um, I have fun playing with my friends on the weekends and playing with my dad, though. It's a great sport. If you haven't played it, you should definitely pick it up.